All right. So the next thing we are going to be looking at here is the printable page. So now let's adjust the document printable page. To adjust that, in some versions of Microsoft, you find it under the choose under the file menu, and then under here you will see page setup. But in this case, based on the version of Microsoft that I'm using, based on the version of this program, this very Microsoft program, where you find it is you go to the page layout. When you go to the page layout, you see you see the size. This is where you set your size of document. Now we have the A4, which the size of this A4 is 210 by 297 millimeter. That's the A4 portrait. And we have the A5, which the size is 148 by 210. That's a half of A4. Don't forget, A4 we have from A6. Let me start from A6. The size of document, we have A6, we have A5, we have A4, we have A3, we have A2, we have A1, and we have the A0. Now the A4 is basically all these paper documents you've been seeing in the cyber cafe, using to type document and being printed out. That size of that very document is called A4. Now if you fold it into two, if you fold it into two, it will gives you a an A5 size, which if you measure it will be a 148 by 210 millimeter. Now if you still fold that same A5 paper into two, it will gives you an A6 size. All right, it gives you an A6 size, which is half of the A5 size. All right, so we have many other sizes here. We have the envelope size, we have the envelope DL, we have the envelope C6, we have the letter size, we have the legal size, we have the A3 size, which is A3 size. Don't forget, if it comes down, it's times two of the previous of the other size, but if it goes up, it's divided into two. Let's say if A4 size is 2410 by 297 millimeter, then I would like to let you know like that A5 A3 size rather, sorry, A3 size is times 2 of A5, and A2 size is times 2 of A3, while A1 size is times 2 of A2. Then the H0 size, what we call the A0 size, that's when anything is out of range, you cannot measure, all right? That's what we call the A0 size, all right? So let me adjust my printable, my screen so that you see what I'm about to show you right now. Now, in order to type your document, we have the portrait, what we call the portrait, and the landscape mode, all right? So you want to type your document in a portrait mode, which is you want your paper to be straight while typing, and you want to start type, or either you want to type it in a landscape mode, which you want it to be slanted. All right, so you go to the page orientation. Under the page layout, go to page orientation, you click here. This is where you have the portrait, and this is where you have the landscape. What that simply means is that you put it on a landscape, you're going to have your paper this way. You put it on a portrait, you're going to have your paper this way. So anyhow you choose to type your paper or your document, this way you set up the paper orientation. All right, you can set it up either in a landscape mode or on a portrait mode. This is where you set your margins. Margin simply means the size of where you want to type your document. We have the normal, we have the narrow, we have the moderate, we have the width. All right, for instance, I have all these documents type here. I have all these documents typed here. All right, what I simply mean by margin is if I set it to wide, now you see the margin is start from 4 inches, and the only space I have left here is from 1 to 10 millimeter. All right, if I set the margin to a mirror, you see the size of it. If I set it to an office size, you see, and if I set it to a moderate here, but always leave your margin at normal, except when needs be, and you can take it to either narrow or what you choose it to be. Okay, so as a note, there are four tabs on the page setup dialog, but which is the margin, the paper size, the paper source, the layout. Our main emphasis is on the margin tab and the paper size, and above diagram depicts the margin tab when it is being clicked upon, as I've already showed you my system desktop. Alright, so let me end. That's where you set your page layout, that's where you set your paper, that's where you set your printable page. And don't forget for me to view, bring this bigger or zoom it in. This is where I have the zoom button where I can zoom it the paper. I can make the screen to come wider or to be smaller. Alright, so don't forget, always leave your page or system, your printable page at 100%. Right, don't have your document. Okay, so that's how to set up your page, printable page. Alright, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let me show you this before I go. We have here the columns. Columns simply means you want to divide your printable page either into two or three, or want the left side to be bigger or the right side to be bigger. So for instance, I divide it into two. Now we have the column one and we have the column two. What this simply means is that if perhaps I type here, it cannot pass the middle of this very typing. Alright. uh, Let me do this so that whatever I'm typing here is a full at once. Okay, so let me set this to 101, 101. Okay, so now you see, as I set it to 101, see what happens here. Let me reduce it to 50. Alright, see what happens here. Whatever I type here, after this side, this other page or this other margin has been full, it moves automatically. After this column has full, it moves automatically to the other column. So that's how to divide your system, or sorry, your printable page into two different columns. Let's say for instance that I'm dividing it into three. You have here, you have here, and you have here. Alright. If I want the left side to be lesser, now you have here, and that's how to set up your printable page. Thanks for this class. As we'll see you in the next class.